Hi fam, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is AskAku and I'm a content creator based in Lagos, Nigeria. If you have caught up on my recent vlogs, you will know that I'm actually in London, UK. So make sure you catch up if you haven't watched already. But today's video is not a vlog. Today's video is another episode of my AskAku series, which is my weekly Q&A series in which I answer all the questions that you've had for me throughout the week. So if you'd like your question answered next week, please be sure to leave me a comment below or send me an email to akubeze@hotmail.com. So without further ado, let's get into the questions. So the first question I got was, hope you are well. How are you? The last vlog you guys saw of me ended on quite an emotional note. You know, I was feeling a bit discouraged and lonely on this my journey to success and impact, let me put it like that. But I'm definitely feeling much better today. You'll see in my next vlog that by the next morning I was already in a better mood. First of all, can I just say thank you so much for all the comments, all the encouragement, all your positive feedback. I even got people sending me emails, reaching out, letting me know that my journey is not in vain, my vlogging is not in vain, even like through the trials. And I understand what you guys are saying about how some people just need privacy. I was just in the moment, I was in my feelings. So yeah, I'm feeling much better and I'm grateful to have my online family. It was so prophetic of me to have called you guys family all those years ago, because really and truly you guys are there for me when I feel like nobody else is there for me. And YouTube is really the place where I feel like I can be my realest sometimes. Even some of my friends even tell me that it's interesting that they find out more about me on YouTube than I actually tell them in person, because I'm not really a like people's person. I don't know how to explain. Like, I'm not dependent. Like, I don't like to like burden people. I'm not the type of person I'll just call my friend like, hey, this is what's going on in my head right now. Maybe only to Ebi, who is like my best friend. Like, so a lot of my friends don't really know what goes on outside of the vlog. So you guys are my family. You guys get the real tea, and I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful that you checked in on me, and I'm feeling better. God is still on the throne. And with God, there's always hope, because it always ends in glory. So yeah, I'm feeling better and I'm grateful for you guys. Okay, next question was from Amy, because in that vlog, I also shared how I don't cry. And she was like, your tears never drop. How does that happen? Honestly, I don't know how that happened. I don't even know when that really started. Like, I feel like I can't remember the last time I properly cried. Like, those cries that you're like, I can't remember. Like, maybe it's heartbreak. Like, even this year, I don't know, like my trauma response is very, like, I just chest it. Like, that's the thing, it's to be coming, but to actually come out, it doesn't come out. So I don't know how it happens. I've actually considered seeing a therapist, because sometimes I do feel like I need a cry. Like, I feel like I need to like let out everything that's going on inside me, but it's just not coming out. And I don't know how that happens, honestly. But does anybody else experience that? Please, if you do, I would love to hear your feedback and how you got over it. I swear to God, I've watched YouTube videos of make yourself cry, how to cry, and it's like acting scenes. I don't want to just act and let tears drop from my eyes. I want to genuinely feel the emotions and let go of myself to the point that my tears actually flow. Anyways, Amy also said, how do you deal with hate speech and attacks? Meanwhile, Amy is Precious. We went to secondary school together, so it's interesting that her name is Amy and I'm calling her Amy. Hi, Precious. I remember you. But she said, how do you deal with hate speech and attacks? How do you find solace? I find solace in the word of God. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, everything is just in God, through God, with God. Like, and from when I was, funny enough, you went to secondary school with me, so you should know that there was a whole incident. How I even ended up on the internet was somebody started a fake page called Vivian Fowler Gist. That's when Gossip Girl was reigning, and I swear I was on that page like every other day, talking about I'm a lesbian, or I'm a this, or I'm a that, or I'm a bitch, or I'm every other thing. So it's like, I think that was my first should I say, plunge into the limelight, and my first experience of hate speech, because it was just like, whoa, what's going on here? So how did I find solace? I found solace in God, in the people that loved me, and in just focusing on who I knew I really was, and not getting distracted by, should I say rumors or negative talk. Like, I don't internalize anything, and I go back to the word, I go back to who I am. Like, when that's in action, I know who I am. So it's like, I know who I am and I won't get distracted. After that, I dealt with the whole I'm a rape apologist scandal. I've dealt with I'm a gold digger scandal. Like, I'm always dealing with one talk or another, but I just have to stick to who I know I am. And then another thing is, I also don't let people very close to me, because another issue that I have is like, I take it personal what people close to me think about me and what they say about me. But if you're not that close to me, then I just figure, you know what, you don't know me, so you're just talking about whatever you want to talk about, and I don't personalize it. And on that note, somebody called Angel left a comment on my video saying, why am I deleting her comments, and I should allow people to express themselves. I never deleted your comments. I never delete comments. Actually, if you go through my comments, you'll see that you'll find good and negative, because the truth is, as a content creator, comments are good for your engagement. It shows YouTube that you're actually getting people on your page, and it shows YouTube that you get people interactive on their platform. So good or bad, comments are good for me. So I would never delete a comment. What I will do though, if you push me to the edge, is to block you completely. Like, I like to block. So if it's like if it gets to the point where I feel like, you know what, you're just being vicious, I'm just gonna block you. Like, your one comment is not gonna be what's gonna make or break my channel. So goodbye. Save your comments forever. But I don't delete comments. So yeah, I allow people to say what they want to say, good or bad, because even when they say bad, I don't personalize it. Even when people say good as well, I try not to personalize it, because it can have two effects. Either I become proud or I become discouraged or disgruntled. So I just rest in God. I don't try and should I say evaluate myself based on people's comments, both praise and both negativity. Okay, Amy also asked another question. She was like, you mentioned cutting a few people off while doing a spiritual cleanse/life detox. Was that difficult to do? How did you go about it? And were there repercussions from that one act? I would say that the only negative repercussion is the fact that I do feel a lot lonelier. Like, because I have cut off a lot of people. But big picture, I think my life is so much better for it, because I do have a sense of peace and security and clarity in everything I'm doing now. I'm not swayed. I'm not should I say having trust issues, because there's some associations that you have that really and truly there's no depth to this relationship, and they will be gone with the wind as soon as the wind starts blowing. So I feel like when you rid yourselves of all those excessive association of fair weather friends, it really just gives you peace of mind. But obviously there's some times where you need, well, let me not say you need, but there's some times where it's nice to have noise around you. So when there's a lot going on in your mind and there's no noise around you, it can also be, should I say, lonely. So yeah, I feel like it wasn't difficult for me to do, because I was very intentional about it. I prayed about it, and it's almost like God just let it happen by itself. Like, I did get a few negative comments here and there, like, what's going on with you? Is it because you're now holier than thou, or this one does not come out, or you've changed? Even until now, I still have people who I did maintain relationships with that they make negative comments. And funny enough, Ruinya asked a question that, do you get ridiculed because of your stand in Christ? And I do, because even if it's like my cousin or my friends, that they'll be like, we can't talk about this one in front of Aku, or this one is now holier than thou, maybe we're out. They'll be making comments like that, or since when did this one start, or please and now you go first reach heaven. Small snide remarks like that. I won't say it's like outright ridicule, but there are statements that are made that do rub me the wrong way and do make me feel as if, am I now weird, or like, am I not accepted anymore, or is this how it's always gonna be? Like, am I just not gonna find my tribe who gets me and understands me and who also wants to be on this same journey with me? Like, that's part of the struggles I had, because there were some relationships that I really kept trying to maintain, because I was hoping and praying that my own journey would kind of influence them and make them want to come on this journey. Like, I didn't want to do this journey alone, but I found that when they say it's lonely at the top, no be lie, and at the top doesn't mean only at the top of success. Like, it just means on whatever path you're on, if you're really dedicated to it, like, you will find that a lot of people will fall off alongside, and that's just how it goes. But then, you know, the blessing is that as I was cutting a lot of people off, I was also, or let me say, as I was cutting them off, as my journey was resulting in a lot of people getting cut off, a lot of people were also flocking to me. Like, I've made newer friends, I've made better connections, healthier connections, more inspiring connections, and it's been great. So yeah, there were repercussions here and there. I do get made fun of here and there, but overall, I have no regrets. My life is better for it. Once in a while, I feel lonely. Once in a while, I feel like, oh, I see people out, they're not inviting me out anymore. Maybe I'm not that cool girl anymore. Oh my God, I even forgot to mention, on Instagram was where I got a lot of ridicule, because I started getting comments like, oh, you dress like an old woman now, or you're so boring now, or this and that. I preferred you when you were in the world. And it's just like, well, sorry, this is me now, so take it or leave it. And I won't lie, it started like getting to me, because I now started feeling like, is it that I'm not fine again, or is it that I'm not like hot, or I'm not popping, like, am I falling off? Like, you know, you start questioning yourself. But that's why you have to know who you are in Christ, like what God has said about you, what his purpose for you is. And then I swear to God, I opened the Bible, and not even the Bible at the time, I was just using my coloring book. So I opened my coloring book, and I saw it led me to the page of beauty will fade, but a woman who fears the Lord, her name will be praised. And I was like, bruv, if they don't think I'm hot anymore, no wahala. At the end of the day, I fear the Lord, and that would be my glory. So that's it. Okay, next question. Orondah, thank you. Shout out to you. You are a consistent commenter, and I feel like I'm gonna meet you soon. I just have that feeling. So I'm grateful for you. Let me just say that you always spread positivity, and you always defend me. If somebody leaves a negative comment, I will see you there saying, what are you saying? Is that not insensitive? Why are you saying that? Blah, 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 blah. So thank you so much for always commenting. You did leave me a note of encouragement telling me that, you know, I shouldn't feel alone on my YouTube journey, and I really appreciate that. But you asked a question about whether I have ever considered doing a meet and greet with my viewers. And yes, I've done meet and greets before, though I have always kept it personal, and I've also been very biased towards women. So most of the meet and greets I do are female subscribers. But I would love to do a meet and greet at some point in the new year, definitely in Lagos. Not while I'm in London. I feel like I want to do something in Lagos, maybe host some kind of event in the new year. I feel like I'm getting a lot more connected to my viewers on a personal level. I think because I'm now vlogging every day, so there are some people I'm talking to every day, and yeah, so eventually I would love to do that. You also asked that, did I accomplish my 2022 goals, and how would I describe the year? So I always do a yearly roundup on New Year's Day of, you know, every year. So anticipate my 2022 video on the 1st of January 2023. Doreen, my girl Doreen again, she said, what was a defining moment for you in your 28th year that made you know you were having an intentional transformation in your life choices? What is it like living alone in your apartment with no roommates? What is your take on young couples living together without marriage? Under what circumstances? Okay, that's a long question. Let me take it one by one. So your first question was, what was a defining moment for me in my 28th year that made me know I was having an intentional transformation in my life choices? The defining moment for me in my 28th year was being sober. Like, it wasn't one moment. It was just that every day I was able to stay sober. So that is the greatest thing that happened to me in my 28th year. That is my first year of life, obviously since like secondary school times, that I was fully sober, and it was amazing. So just having clarity, making better decisions, growing closer to God. But I feel like it was my sobriety that even helped me get closer to God. It was my sobriety that helped me start making better life choices. It was my sobriety that helped me to be intentional about what I wanted to do. So that was the moment. What is it like living alone in my apartment with no roommates? It's great. Low-key, I'm a loner. Like, sometimes I even wonder, how is it going to be with a husband? Because I have always lived alone in a way. Like, even when I was in A-levels, I had a room alone, or I think I had one roommate at some point. And then even when I was in uni, I was in a room alone. I've never really been the type to share room in secondary school. Even when I was alone, I'm just the type of person that like does things alone. So yeah, I feel like it's great. I have no fears. Even sometimes people come and they're like, you live here alone, like don't you get afraid? What am I afraid of? Like, God is with me. So yeah, I love living alone. Obviously I do have someone. I have like an assistant that stays in my BQ, so she's there to help out if I need things or if I'm not feeling fine, you know, things like that. But I love living alone. But Shed, what is your take on young couples living together without marriage? Now, before, I always used to be of the opinion that that would be amazing because it helps you get to know each other and start, you know, working around the quirks of like living with someone. But obviously now with a deeper understanding of, you know, God's expectations for us, I don't think that's right because you're likely to be living in sin. Like, can you live together and not be sleeping with each other and not see each other naked and all those things? I don't think that's possible. So I feel like when someone is your person and when you're covered by that marriage covenant, you'll make it work anyways. So why not just cover it with the covenant of marriage? And funny enough, I was watching a podcast yesterday and they were talking about it's the Dear Future Wifey podcast. I love it. It's all about like marriage and relationships and things like that. So I was watching one called Things They Don't Tell You Before You Get Married, and the guy was talking about how hospitals don't attend to harlots. Like, he was basically saying, like, if you're just a girlfriend or if you're just like a partner or shacking up with your guy, a hospital is not going to recognize you if anything happens. Like, you have to actually be married or have that certification of a wife or a husband or a spouse basically. So it's like, why bother living together if something happens, you know, you're not even going to technically be covered. Like, just make it official. Hope I answered that question properly. It's not something that I would do anyways. I want to live with my partner after we get married, but I do support should I say regular interactions and I don't know how to put it, like, even if you're not living with your partner, I do believe that you can be a part of their lifestyle, like in the sense of like going to their house regularly, doing things around the house, even leaving things in their house. You know, I don't think you have to wake up and sleep there every day, but I feel like you should be there often enough to be able to know, you know, how they're living. Sure, it's still part of the getting to know each other process. Okay, last question. Anna left a comment saying that why don't you get a professional job and then do your YouTube on the side? So if you've been following this channel for the last 3 or 4 years, you would know that I've always had a job and done YouTube on the side. But YouTube, I feel like because of that, I've never really been able to give YouTube my all. So my plan for this year was, or should I say for this time, I'm back on YouTube, was to give myself to YouTube fully for 1 year. So this is my full-time job. This is all I'm putting my energy into. So I have no excuses. That's why I'm posting every day for 1 year. So until the 22nd of October, 2023, I will be on YouTube. I will be fully dedicated to YouTube. I run my clothing line on the side to supplement my income. I also take up like real estate gigs here and there to try and supplement my income as well. But my full-time job, what I'm putting my energy into, is YouTube, because I feel like what has affected my progression and success on YouTube is commitment and consistency. So I want to eliminate every distraction. Now I've told myself, if after that year things don't kick off and become what I wanted to, I will now get another job, because this is my 29th year, as I've said. So by the time I reach 30, I'm not going to be chasing my dreams the same way. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't want to say I'm going to give up on my dreams, but I'm going to get a bit more practical, and I need to start considering, you know, the sustainability of my life. So I'm not getting another job because I want to be fully committed and consistent on YouTube, and that's the plan. So we shall see how the journey goes, and I pray it's a success. I pray it works out, because I really do feel like I imagine myself as a mom. YouTube is something I can still do as a mom, because I set my own hours. I can't imagine working a proper 9-to-5 job and then I have to be out of the house for hours, and then if I want to travel I need to take leave from my boss. That's defined structure may not work for the type of life I'm envisioning myself having, especially when I start having a family. So that's the plan, y'all, and I hope you guys will be along for the journey. But yeah, most importantly, I pray that God blesses my efforts, because this time I'm really trying. So yeah, that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for all your questions. Like I've said, if you have any more questions for me, please leave it below or send me an email to akpeze@hotmail.com. And I would also love to hear your reactions to the questions I answered in today's video. I'll see you tomorrow. I love you, and Jesus even loves you more. Bye.